One of the deadliest forces on Earth, volcano. Fortunately for us, the period when they were most active occurred tens of millions, even hundreds of millions of years ago. However, what would happen if a series of natural reactions and changes caused all volcanoes to become active once more? In this video, we will explore how big of an explosion could a supervolcano cause when it erupts? Could it lead to a mass extinction event like the ones we already know? Or could this disaster actually be the salvation of our planet? Let's begin our show. First, what could trigger the reactivation of a volcano? It is a sudden shift in tectonic activity. Every year, tectonic plates drift about 15 centimeters closer to each other. At their edges, they rub against each other, gradually forming mountains. And when the surface of the Earth, which is the only thing that can prevent magma from the Earth's interior from erupting, is broken, it triggers volcanic eruptions. However, with only 15 centimeters per year, it's not enough to cause a massive eruption of supervolcanoes. We need something much stronger. It may take tens of thousands of years or even longer before we witness a thing like that. So let's imagine that a tremendous external force from outside the Earth impacts the tectonic plates, forcing them to collide violently, creating thousands of new volcanoes and awakening dormant ones. And you think there won't be any large impact like that? In reality, it has already happened on Earth. 66 million years ago, a meteorite collided with Earth and created the Chicxulub crater, wiping out 75% of the life on our planet at that time. The event is so far in the past that we can't feel afraid of it, but scientists at NASA have recently discovered a meteorite that could pose a threat to Earth in the near future. Although it's not large enough to cause an extinction event for humanity, it could completely destroy a major city. The meteorite, named 2024 YR4, was discovered by NASA's Asteroid Collision Warning System, ATLAS, on December 27, 2024. According to calculations by researchers, the probability of a collision with Earth in 2032 is about 1.2%. With a size of about 55 meters, this meteorite, while not large enough to cause an extinction event, has an estimated collision energy of around 8 megatons, more than 500 times the destructive power of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. A collision like that could completely erase a major city. Now we have a big enough cause for this hypothesis. Let's explore the destructive power of this massive eruption. How big could a volcanic eruption be? To easily visualize the immense power we are about to talk about, let's take an example of another destructive event from the past that is not too far back and is still known by many people around the world today: the atomic bomb explosion in Hiroshima. On August 6, 1945, is a day that cannot be forgotten by the people of Japan and also by the world's history in general. U.S. President Harry S. Truman ordered the dropping of the atomic bomb called Little Boy on the city of Hiroshima. The energy release was equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT, causing damage to tens of thousands of lives. But when compared to a supervolcano eruption, it is like lighting a candle. Around 74,000 years ago, the supervolcano Toba, Indonesia, erupted during the Pleistocene epoch, releasing an enormous amount of lava and energy equivalent to 2,800,000 megatons of TNT. Such a huge event caused climate changes and took over 1,000 years for Earth to recover. So, according to calculations, it is 1,866,000 times stronger than the Hiroshima explosion. That could be the most terrifying thing you've ever heard. In 1883, in Indonesia, the Krakatoa volcano erupted for 5 months, and one of its eruptions produced a sound 10,000 times louder than a missile launch, and you could hear it over 1/12 of the Earth's surface. Such a loud explosion would create sound waves large enough to shatter every window it encounters. And if you happen to be near this eruption, almost 100% you will suffer eardrum damage and become deaf. It would be remiss not to mention the tsunamis, as all of this would cause a chain reaction. The eruption of Krakatoa over 100 years ago created a giant tsunami that reached 30 meters in height, striking the islands of Java and Sumatra, submerging villages, and continuing to raise the death toll to over 36,000 people. So, what would happen if dozens or even hundreds of eruptions occurred simultaneously? Toba, Indonesia, Yellowstone, USA, Valles Caldera, USA, Taupo, New Zealand, and many other volcanoes have erupted strongly. Immediately, the first damages would be recorded. All areas near volcanoes would be scorched by flowing lava. Trees, animals. Unfortunately, they would be wiped out quickly. Tons of toxic gases, including sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and other harmful gases, would blanket the atmosphere, posing a threat to human health and all living creatures. Going back to Krakatoa, Indonesia, after 5 months of continuous eruptions, it released such vast amounts of gas and ash that it blocked sunlight from reaching the surface, causing the global temperature to drop by 0.5 degrees Celsius, and sunsets were tinted red for many years afterward. Even with the eruption of Toba, the global temperature dropped by up to 4 degrees Celsius. So with all the supervolcanoes erupting, Earth could enter a volcanic winter period, where global temperatures could drop by dozens of degrees Celsius, completely reversing its warming trend. Humans would not be able to live normally in this freezing environment. We would likely have to wear clothing similar to astronauts to endure the cold and continue breathing. The air would contain a lot of SO2 and CO2. With such an unexpected catastrophe and the enormous costs of production, not all people would be equipped to survive. Alternatively, nuclear bunkers or underground shelters might be the new homes for humans until the dust settles and the toxic gases are cleared. Could things get worse? Unfortunately, yes. Such a large explosion would destroy countless buildings, leaving tens of millions of people homeless. The electrical grid would be damaged and destroyed. Without electricity, the world would be plunged into darkness, and the economy we are running would be halted and might disappear entirely. At this point, it would be a fight for survival for anyone lucky enough to remain alive. Once everything has passed, governments and economies could be reorganized. But right now, one simple thing, though vital, remains: breathing. A large amount of ash and dust released into the atmosphere will block sunlight from reaching the Earth. And without sunlight, plants will no longer survive, crops will die off, and the global food supply will be in crisis. Not only humans, but herbivorous animals will gradually disappear, even face extinction, followed by carnivores. But is there any positive in this? The positive point, perhaps the only one, of this event is the natural revival of Earth. The covering of smoke and ash could prevent Earth from having a summer for many years after, and then there would be no winter either. However, when all is over, the soil will become fertile again due to the minerals in the volcanic lava. When the first rays of sunlight touch the Earth, tiny seeds of life will be awakened and begin to grow, stretching toward new sunrises. At this time, the climate and weather will no longer be as extreme as the puzzling issues we faced in the 20th and 21st centuries. With factories having stopped and CO2 no longer being released indiscriminately, emissions would be reduced to zero, in line with the net zero program. New plant and animal species may begin their lives on this small planet. And now we hope for a strong unity and cooperation from anyone who survives to rebuild a new world, one that would likely be much more harmonious with nature than it is now. That's all we think could happen as a result of this super eruption. What do you think might also happen? Please leave your comments. See you again in the next video.